we are actually doing the PCORE monthly webinar. So I will bring us up to presentation mode, and here we go. So again, PCORE stands for Patient-Centered Outcome Research for Employees of the Near West Side. It is a project that is funded by the PCORE Institute and trying to help elevate the patient voice. And in our case, with our Marquette project leads, we're focusing on elevating the employee voice. And so we're in spring. I kept that little picture in the corner with the snow because it's going to get cold again, and our poor daffodils are just not getting treated very well. But I think a lot of us feel that the spring equinox has brought quite a bit of hope and sunshine to our lives. So I'm looking forward as we continue to move on with our warmer days. COVID, that's why we're all on Zoom. So COVID vaccine is readily available in Milwaukee right now. If you live in the 53233 zip code, you can go get that vaccine right away. Also, if you have a pre-existing condition, they're safe, they're free, and it's important that we all get that so you can protect yourself, the ones you love, and also spend time with the ones you love. There's phone number and website for either or, both are easily accessible. And as everything goes, it changes day to day. I do the friendly reminder of we still wear that mask, stay 6 feet apart, avoid crowds, wash your hands. No matter how many people we get vaccines, we need to make sure that we are staying safe, and wearing that mask, avoiding people, and washing our hands are still important. And then, as we mentioned before, I should have flipped these slides around. These are the folks that are considered in that next category of to be able to get vaccinated. And our move has already opened up to Monday. We'll be opening up for anybody above 16. Doesn't matter where you live, what your history is, where you work. The city is very much wanting to get everybody vaccinated. So that again should also reinforce the fact that it's important to get that done. And then we do have the Hunger Task Force mobile market roaming the Near West Side. The next time it will be here is at Washington Park on Tuesday, April 6th. It's truly a market on wheels. There's fresh fruit, meat, dairy, and it accepts EBT and Quest cards, debit card, credit card, no cash. And if you do want information about where the market is, it is mobile throughout the city several times a day, and you can go to any location at any time, but we're very happy to have them here in the Near West Side on a regular basis. And then if you do need help support purchasing food, please do utilize the Hunger Task Force. They're a wonderful resource to be able to get you signed up. And if you already have an EBT card, they are with the new federal funding, money is being loaded on for more purchase power. And there's not even a form that needs to be completed for you to receive those funds. So if you do need additional support, Hunger Task Force has a team that will be able to help you get signed up to be able to purchase groceries for you and your family. And then we have our community cleanup coming up in a couple weeks. It's only, oh wow, just about a week and a half away. This year we are partnering with United Methodist Community Children's Services, and we will be centrally located at Tiefenthaler Park, which is at 27th and Cherry. And we do need volunteers. Obviously, when we are partnering with an organization that's technically in Washington Park and with ours, we need lots of people, and we do know that lots of garbage does accumulate throughout the winter, and it's important that we get it all cleaned up. You can sign up to volunteer by going to our website at nearwestsidemke.org. You can contact me directly. My information will be at the end of the presentation. And we also are partnering with all our specific neighborhoods. There's a lot of groups already having plans and ready to get out there and start cleaning up. And in the meantime, don't hesitate to get out there right away, which is the city's promotion. You know, just if you're a little nervous about being with people, just clean up in front of your curb. For most of us, it's really not too hard to do. and keep your eyes open for all the fun stuff coming up there. And then today we are going to be talking about managing stress. Again, patient-centered outcome research for employees of the Near West Side is a project through Marquette University and Dr. Dan Pinto and Dr. Abiola Keller. And this past year, we've been focusing the impact of COVID on employees in their community. And even before COVID struck, we really identified as a team, stakeholder panel with PCORE, that stress is a common theme among all employees. And we also know our community, and there's never enough resources to be able to help folks through that. And then now we're just bamboozled with a few more. So I'm going to introduce our speaker. Her name is Beth Tinsley. She is counseling psychology doctoral candidate at the University of, or I guess it's say Marquette University. And her research is in supervision, non-disclosure, resilience, and best practice. And her dissertation will be examining the supervision relationships from the supervisee perspective and seeks to understand the impact of the supervisee non-disclosure of agreement with supervisor feedback. So I think she'll be able to explain this to us a little bit better, but her previous work has included working in a community clinic at the VA, and she's provided psychotherapy, group intervention, as well as psychological and neuropsychological assessment. In her free time, she enjoys baking, lakefront of Milwaukee, which I'm sure she's getting out to a little bit more now with our warm weather, and traveling. So Beth, thank you so much for being part of our presentation today.
Well, thank you so much for having me and letting me share with you just for a few minutes about some tools and some things related to stress and all of the maybe heaviness that we may all be feeling in the midst of a global pandemic, and especially right here in Milwaukee. So, you know, to begin, just thinking about the pandemic and the things that have changed, things that have closed, jobs that have been lost, and all of that has been COVID is also co-occurring at the same time as many other things. You know, we're having just a lot of big moments in our world right now that creates a lot of intersecting stress. And, you know, I want to pause for a minute to talk about stress, because stress isn't always bad. You know, there is a healthy layer of stress, the part that can be functional, things like when you're nervous going into a presentation or a performance or something, there's a functional level of stress, and it motivates you. It reminds you that you're invested in something, that what you're doing is important to you. And so there's that small part of stress, but then there's this kind of larger, broader piece. And today we're going to talk about sort of that heavy, could lead to a dysfunctional level of stress when it's, you know, just exhausting sometimes to look out at our world and what's going on around us and feel everything, you know, and it can start to weigh on you. And so today we're going to talk about that. And to begin with, you have access to the Holmes Ray Life Stress Inventory. Now, this inventory has been around for a little while and is something that was initially created for a medical community setting. But I think you can see when we go through this that there's definitely some application to everything that's going on right now. So I'm going to just pause for a moment and give you an opportunity to go through this questionnaire and inventory, and encourage you as you're going through it just to be honest and open with yourself, to get an accurate assessment of how you may be feeling right now in the moment with everything that's happening.
There, and everyone, oh, did I do that again? I'm trying to share with everybody. Okay, we should be there. Let's go there. This is one of my examples of I get goofy. All right, speed shift. There we go. So everyone can take a look at that now, and I will just keep it up.
We're not actually.
You're not seeing it?
No, we see like your desktop that says stress inventory.
Okay. Well, let's just do it this way. We'll go back and at least get through the top part of the presentation. Sure. And can you see that now? No? Okay.
I did a minute ago because you had it on the slide.
Oh, okay. I'll find you again. This is again an example where screen share. And there we go. The presentation. Ta-da!
Yes. Excellent. Thank you, Barb.
So is that previous slide we were looking at, I think that was hitting home as you were talking about. There are so many different forms of stress, and what that was highlighting is that we've now come to this crazy point with COVID, and then it's derailed so many other parts of our lives. And it really, we're finding that there are little like mini pandemics within this big chaos of COVID. And so there's a lot of unintentional consequences that come out of something that's so impactful. And I would, in question about looking at the mean value of something like pregnancy, I think right now I couldn't even imagine being a person that's pregnant and having to face COVID. And somehow some of these numbers might even double based on where we're at.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're going through, Barb has done a great job of showing us the top 16 items, but there's actually 43. So if you have an opportunity to look at the full rating scale, there are really joyful moments on here, and things like pregnancy, things like getting married, that are really wonderful occasions, but also bring with it stressful feelings in your body. And so I think, especially when we're in COVID, when there's so many things that are weighing, it's important to recognize that even really wonderful things, really joyful things can also contribute to that overall feeling of stress.
Sure. So when we talk about the score, what is marks something that that a person might be a bit concerned about their score?
Sure. So if you were going through this and totaling up, if you had 150 points or less, so less than 150. So if we were looking at this, say you got married in the last year, and you also simultaneously lost your job, that would be 97 points. Okay, so we would add those scores together. So you would sum your total for all of the things that you checked have occurred. And if you have less than 150 points, then you have a relatively low amount of stress related to life change. Okay, if you have 150 to 300 points on this rating scale, then you have roughly a 50% chance of approaching a health-related issue due to the stress level in your life. And then if you have over 300 points, that raises the likelihood to roughly 80% or more that you could have develop an illness or have a problem related to the stress level in your life. So I think it's important just to kind of get an assessment on where we're at, because when we look at our body, and we're looking at kind of ways that our body feels stress. You know, I included for you a slide from our partners at Blue Cross Blue Shield. I shouldn't say partners because it's not a PCORE partner, but they have really great references for us, and looking at how stress can impact us. You know, and so without going into a lot of biology for you, just being aware that stress can have a lot of impacts on your body, whether it's that positive stress and functional, or really that negative stress. Things like hair loss, things like headaches, a weakened immune system, which especially in the midst of a pandemic, we don't want to have a weakened immune system. We want to be able to fight off anything that might come up for us. You may experience weight gain. That's part of the COVID-19 at-home weight gain that you'd see everyone talking about. Like, you just feel the heaviness, the stress is there, and sometimes that happens. And then that weight gain can also contribute to some other things like diabetes, like poor gut health. Could increase your likelihood for things like heart disease. So stress can manifest itself in a lot of ways. And I included for you also with this another checklist as some ways that you can feel the tension in your body. Some people might say, oh, I feel it, in my neck and my shoulders. Some people can say, I know I'm stressed because I feel like I'm clenching my jaw. Okay, and you can feel that at the end of the day. Maybe it impacts your sleeping schedule. I know for me, I can tell when I'm stressed because I can't stay asleep. I might go to sleep, but I'll wake up 4 or 5 times and I'm tossing and turning. So there's just not good quality sleep. Mm-hmm. And so we can see, based on this checklist, a number of ways in which stress can manifest itself. And it's difficult to be the leaders in our community, the employees, the supervisors, and to care about the folks that are working with us when we are feeling stressed so deeply. And in your personal life, it's difficult to be, again, engaged in your community, to be partners and spouses and parents, and just be people when you're feeling really overwhelmed. And so what I want to do with kind of the rest of our time today is just to talk about what you can do about it. I would encourage you to go through this checklist on your time and kind of get an honest assessment for yourself of what you're feeling. And, there's at the bottom of the checklist, there's a scoring opportunity for you. So if you have less than 7, you're feeling stress at a low level in your body. Okay. But if you are at more than 22, so if you go through and check 22 or more of these, you have a very high level of stress. So your body can tell you when it's overwhelmed. And what you need to do is kind of understand and recognize and be in tune with your body so that you can help kind of mitigate those and decrease that stress level so you can go back to being engaged and doing all the things that you need to do.
And I will just pop in. So we will have these tools loaded on our website. And if anyone specifically wants it right away, feel free to email me afterwards and I will send you all the documents. So 2 resources, and hopefully that will do it. We do have some other information as we go along, but folks do have access to this as we wrap up.
Great.
So
we'll just
take ourselves away.
Yeah, so we'll just transition right over, because you might be thinking, okay, great. So I take these assessments, I can feel the stress in my body, I'm feeling overwhelmed. What am I going to do with this? And so what I'm going to encourage you to do is to practice the pause with me. And what I mean by that is practicing ways that you can actively engage in knowing yourself and sensing how your body is feeling, and doing a couple techniques that can help you calm and relax in the moment. Okay, so there's kind of a buzzword out there called mindfulness. Okay, and so folks have been talking about mindfulness. You hear it in counseling. You hear it just in general. Even Oprah talks about mindfulness. But really, mindfulness is just taking a break to check in with yourself. And so we're going to do a little bit of that today. I offer in some of my handouts ways for you to be mindful. It could be something as simple as coloring. It could be taking a walk and engaging in some exercise. We're going to practice a breathing exercise with you. I'm actually going to lead Barb through that for you. But there are some other really great resources on here for you. Things like progressive muscle relaxation that you can do at home when you have a little bit more time. And also some quick things like this breathing exercise that you could do at work on your feet when you're feeling stressed and you're feeling overwhelmed. You don't need to, schedule a whole hour. You can just take a few moments and pause, recenter, and get back to whatever you were doing. So let me take you to 4-7-8 breathing. Okay, so the idea behind 4-7-8 breathing is that we're going to practice this technique, and you can go along with us as we go, but you're going to inhale through your nose, and you're going to make that process last for 4 seconds. So from a seated position, sit up straight in your chair. You want to place the tip of your tongue on, kind of rest it behind your teeth. Okay, I would encourage you, if you can, to just close your eyes and be in touch with, just focus on this activity and be in touch with yourself in this moment. Okay, so sitting up, we're going to inhale through our nose for 4 seconds. And then we're going to hold that breath for a count of 7. And then we're going to exhale for 8 seconds. So really space that breath out, let it out slowly. Okay. And you can feel that kind of release. And
Do I want my mouth open or closed when I breathe out? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter if it's
Okay.
open or closed.
All right.
Whichever I would say is more comfortable. So we'll go ahead and practice that again. So we're going to inhale for 4 seconds. And hold it. And exhale.
I feel my shoulders drop when I do that exhale.
Yeah.
Is that, so that's kind of, maybe, I guess I hold my tension up in my shoulders?
Yep. A lot of folks, if you are computer working job settings, you're going to feel that tension because you're constantly, over your computer and, maybe balancing your phone while trying to type at the same time. Lots of folks hold tension there. So this exercise is a quick one just to make you mindful of that, to give you that pause and to recenter.
If I were to try and incorporate this into my daily schedule, do you have a suggestion how I might be able to do that so I remember, or just kind of get that habit formed?
Sure. So we know that habits take 21 days. Now that seems like a lot, but it's really not, especially when this doesn't take that much time. So I know for me, when I get up in the morning, I try and do this like as I'm stretching and trying to, get my awareness of what's going on for the day. Just take a moment sitting on the side of your bed to breathe and get your perspective for the day of all the things that are happening. Mm-hmm. And then I find that as I'm going through my day, by lunchtime, I'm kind of feeling the heaviness again. So I try and do this again after I've finished my lunch, before I go on about whatever else I'm doing that day. But really trying to be intentional and taking the time just to invest in yourself and your well-being is really going to make all the difference in all the folks that you interact with throughout your day.
Yeah, honestly, in just doing that a few times, I do feel just my mind's a little bit clearer and a little more energized, and just feel like, I can take it to I can go again with a little more vigor and interest. So that's really nice that we can do something that simple that takes a minute a day.
Yep.
Or every hour. I'm thinking if I got doing this every hour, I'd probably just clear my head and get my job done all the time.
Oh yeah. Imagine how much more productive you'd be moving because you feel better. Mm-hmm. When your body is not stressed, it's got more energy. It feels better. It feels lighter. So the more you can do this and integrate this into your day, the better off you're going to feel. The more, you and the folks that you're working with are going to feel like you can get the job done.
For sure. And I think I'm just going to bring us to this next slide. We can kind of keep chit-chatting there. But this was in the handout that is going to be available with all of these techniques was this picture. And so I took a screenshot of it and thought, this is really exactly what we need to do for ourselves, and to just get away, walk away from the computer, or maybe turning off the TV. But if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of others. And making sure that we set aside a time to rest and play is part of our health and wellness.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Particularly in a society where, multitasking and being on your phone while you're commuting and doing several things at one time, like, I have power lunches and power naps and power meetings and all of these things where you're just going. It doesn't give you that time to rest and relax and find peace and rejuvenate. And Brene Brown, who this is one of her quotes, she's an excellent faculty at the University of Houston. She's an endowed chair there. She's a social worker. She's a researcher, storyteller, wears a woman who wears a lot of hats. And she examines courage and shame and vulnerability and resilience and in her research. And so, she spent a lot of time looking at people who try to balance a lot of things, and really speaks and pushes us to be courageous enough to think of ourselves. And so that would kind of be my closing message to you of be courageous to be vulnerable enough to say, I need to make me a priority so that then I can do the work that I need to do with my colleagues, with the folks that I work with, so that everybody can benefit and your stress can be decreased so that you can continue that work in the long run.
Yeah, no kidding. And just really a minute is all it takes, right?
Yep. It just takes a minute a day. I gave you some additional resources for things like a meditation for breathing.
Mm-hmm.
I gave you progressive muscle relaxation. And those are techniques that could take a little bit more time. Again, you'll feel the benefits, but even if you only spend a minute a day or a minute every couple hours, are definitely long-term benefits that you will seek from that.
And I think it's kind of one of those, it's a positive reinforcement once you feel that change, that it's like, okay, well then this is worth taking time, whether it's a minute or an hour.
Mm-hmm.
The more we do it, the better we get at it too, is that it doesn't automatically happen like this.
Right. Yes. Yep. That's very true. Rehearsal, keep doing it, keep practicing. Even if you feel silly because you've stopped to like stand still or sit still and you've closed your eyes, like even if you feel silly doing it, keep doing it.
Cool. I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to just even learn that simple little skill and know that I should do it every hour. And I'm thinking it might be a great way to start a meeting every once in a while. Just to say to everybody, okay, let's just take a breath and not just jump into it and forge ahead, but how can we just take a minute and all recenter ourselves and then be efficient for our meeting.
Absolutely.
So I have a number of resources through here, and certainly we want people to know if they do need help, it's available. Whew, I'm a little off center on my numbers and information. That's not new. But Milwaukee and Milwaukee County has a lot of resources. We don't want anyone to feel that they are not without help here in our area. So there's phone numbers, there's websites. Again, we'll have this posted also on the Near West Side Partners website with the COVID tab. You'll find a lot of this same information too, because this has been an extremely challenging time for all of us, and everyone responds to stress differently, and we need help at different times, and help means different things to different people, correct?
Yep, absolutely.
going to let that sit there for a minute. And I think it's so wonderful as our world has transformed that the spectrum of services is provided, young to old, and gender orientation and color. And we really have come to recognize that it's not one size fits all.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And as I go into that, certainly if you are experiencing any thoughts of suicide, please do reach out for help. And that phone number is here, 1-800-273-TALK. There's also a text line with that, and then special resources for folks that are transgender. And we will move there, and I will go to that. So again, and I just saw, I'm going to go open this up to stop share, because I think we have a question. Okay, no questions from Facebook, but encourage people to sign up for the community cleanup. Elizabeth makes sure to note for me to remind everybody. And let me go back, and then I'll bring us back together again, Beth, as a final wrap up, and we'll wave goodbye to everybody. So everybody, we still do need support here at the Near West Side Partners. Please feel free when you go shopping at Amazon to go to Amazon Smile. It's a little bit of a different way to reach it. It's not like you go into Amazon, but if you type Amazon Smile, you can designate Near West Side Partners as a place for you to donate, and or you can go straight to our website. And my screen, am I done? And questions. So if you need any information about today's webinar, please contact me at PCORE@nearwestsidepartners.org. Again, PCORE@nearwestsidepartners.org. We can get you the information directly of what we went through today. Beth gave us a bunch of great handouts, not as easy as I thought it was going to be to get them on the airwaves, but they will be on the website, and I can send that immediately. And know that there are resources for you to just tap in on your own and beyond. So Beth, thank you for your expertise. And I think we'll have you back again so I can relax before I have to move on to the next thing. And know that we wish you the best of luck in your research and dissertation and being a successful counselor.
Well, thank you. Thank you again so much for having me. And if anyone needs additional references to find these resources, I'm happy to provide those as well. So
thank you.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.